Commander Zara stood on the bridge of her ship watching the small blue planet below. Her silver skin gleamed under the ship lights as she studied the readings on her screen. The planet called Earth looked so peaceful from space, but her mission was clear. The Valtari Empire needed this world for its rare metals, and the small creatures living there would not stop them. Zara had conquered 47 worlds in her career, and Earth would be number 48. Her crew of female warriors had never failed Lisa. The human ambassador sat in the meeting room waiting. Zara entered with her tall frame and glowing purple eyes. Lisa looked so tiny compared to the alien commander. At barely 5 feet tall with brown hair and simple clothes, Lisa seemed harmless. Zara smiled, showing her sharp teeth. The humans had sent their weakest representative. She could crush this small woman with one hand. The other human worlds had fallen quickly when faced with Valtari strength. Lisa spoke quietly about peace treaties and sharing resources. Zara laughed. The sound echoed through the metal walls of the ship. Her second in command. Vera watched from the doorway, also amused by the weak human. But then Lisa mentioned her friend Jake, who worked in the mines on Earth. Zara asked to see this Jake person. Perhaps he would provide better entertainment than this small woman. When Jake arrived, Zara almost gasped. He stood only average height for a human male with sandy brown hair and kind blue eyes. His clothes were dirty from mining work, and he moved slowly like he was tired. Zara had expected their strongest warrior, but they sent a laborer. Jake looked around the advanced alien ship with wonder in his eyes. He seemed amazed by their technology and asked simple questions about how things worked. Zara felt insulted. Were humans mocking her by sending their weakest people? Vera whispered to Zara that perhaps they should just take the planet now. These humans were clearly too weak to resist, but Zara wanted to have some fun first. She challenged Jake to a contest of strength. The cargo bay was cleared, and Zara brought out a metal cube that weighed 3,000 pounds on Earth. She lifted it easily over her head and set it down with a loud crash. Jake stared at the display of alien strength. Now it was his turn. Zara pointed to a larger cube weighing 10,000 pounds. She expected him to admit defeat immediately. Instead, Jake walked over and examined the metal block he placed, his hands on the sides, and took a deep breath. Zara watched with amusement as the small human prepared to embarrass himself, but then something impossible happened. The massive cube began to rise. Jake lifted it slowly but steadily over his head. The metal groaned under the stress. His face turned red with effort, but he held it there for several seconds before setting it down gently. Zara stared in shock. Her purple eyes widened as she tried to understand what she had seen. No creature should be able to lift that much weight, especially not this fragile-looking human. Male Vera stepped forward with another cube weighing 20,000 pounds. She was sure this would prove human weakness. But Jake approached this one too. This time he struggled more. His muscles strained and sweat covered his face, but again the impossible happened. The cube rose into the air. Jake held it for a moment, then placed it down with complete control. The alien women looked at each other in confusion. Their strongest warriors could barely manage such weights. How was this ordinary human doing? Zara decided to test him further. She brought out equipment from their ship, a gravity manipulator that created 50 times normal weight in a small area. She activated it around Jake, expecting to see him collapse. Instead, Jake stood firm in the crushing gravity field. He moved slowly, but he moved. His bones should have broken his organs, should have failed, but he remained upright. Lisa smiled from the corner of the room. She had been quiet during the strength contest. Now she spoke about human endurance and determination. The aliens did not understand yet. Zara turned off the gravity field and stared at Jake. How was he still standing? Her own people would be crushed flat under such pressure. Yet this human acted like it was merely uncomfortable. She brought out her personal weapon, a plasma rifle that could destroy armored vehicles. She fired it at a metal wall, leaving a glowing hole. Then she handed it to Jake, expecting him to barely lift the heavy weapon. Jake took the rifle and examined it carefully. He asked about the power settings and safety features. Then he aimed it at another target and fired. The blast was perfect, hitting exactly where He intended Zara realize this was not about physical strength alone. Jake had adapted to their technology instantly. He learned faster than her own trained soldiers. The implications terrified her. Vera brought news from the scanner teams. They had been studying human cities and discovered something disturbing. The humans had weapons hidden underground missiles that could reach space and destroy ships. More troubling was the discovery of human factories. These simple people were manufacturing technology that matched Valtari engineering. How had they advanced so quickly without anyone noticing? Jake set down the plasma rifle and looked directly at Zara. His blue eyes were calm but determined. He spoke about human history, wars that lasted decades, civilizations that survived ice ages and plagues. He told them about human miners who worked miles underground in crushing heat, engineers who built machines to explore other planets, scientists who split atoms and harnessed the power of stars. Zara began to understand. The humans looked weak because they did not need to display their strength. They had learned to work together to solve problems with intelligence rather than force. Lisa added that Earth had been watching the stars. For generations, they knew about the Valtari Empire and other alien civilizations. Humanity had been preparing for this moment. The cargo bay filled with tension as the alien women processed this information. They had conquered worlds filled with strong warriors and advanced technologies, but they had never faced anything like humans. Jake walked to the viewing window and pointed at Earth below. He spoke about the billions of people living there, each one capable of the same determination. He had shown each one willing to fight for their world. Zara felt something she had never experienced before. Fear not of death in battle, but fear of the unknown. These humans were unlike any species in her database. She asked Jake what would happen if the Valtari tried to invade. He smiled sadly and explained that humans preferred peace but were very good at war. When pushed, they became more dangerous than any predator. The mining equipment Jake used every day was designed to move mountains. His job required him to work in conditions that would kill most aliens. The gravity strength tests were nothing compared to his normal workday. Lisa showed them pictures on a small device. Humans climbing the highest mountains, diving to the deepest, ocean floors, surviving in frozen wastelands and burning deserts. She explained that Earth was not a gentle world. It was a planet that tested its children every day. Those who survived became incredibly strong and adaptable. Humanity had been forged by their harsh environment. Zara looked at her crew of mighty warriors and realized the truth. These humans were not weak. They were the strongest species she had ever encountered. They just hid it well. Vera asked about human military forces. Lisa smiled and mentioned that Jake and herself were not soldiers. They were just ordinary citizens. The real military personnel were much more impressive. Jake nodded and explained that human soldiers trained in conditions worse than the alien gravity field. They learned to fight in any environment against any enemy. Surrender was not in their vocabulary. The bridge screen suddenly showed new readings. Human ships were rising from the planet's surface. Not the primitive vessels Zara expected, but sleek, craft that matched her own technology. A communication came through from Earth, multiple voices speaking different languages, but all saying the same thing. Welcome to our world. Please state your intentions. Zara realized that the humans had been testing her just as she tested them. They wanted to see what kind of people the Valtari were before revealing their true capabilities. She looked at Jake with new respect. This quiet miner had shown her more about human nature than any battle could. The strength to lift heavy objects was nothing compared to the strength of their spirit. Lisa stood up and offered a treaty of friendship between their peoples. She explained that humans valued diversity and would welcome Valtari culture and knowledge. Zara made her decision. She ordered her fleet to power down weapons and requested permission to land as guests, not conquerors. The Empire would have to find its rare metals somewhere else as they prepared to visit Earth. Jake offered to show them around his mining operation. Zara accepted, knowing she would learn much from watching humans work. She had thought he was weak when she saw his small frame and gentle manner. Now she understood that human strength came from within. It was the power to endure, to adapt, and to hope. The story spread through the Valtari Empire about the world that conquered them with kindness. Other alien species heard the tale and came to see these remarkable humans for themselves. Earth became known across the galaxy not as a world of warriors but as a planet of people who could lift anything, including the spirits of those around them. Zara stayed on Earth for many cycles, learning about human determination. She watched Jake work his dangerous job with calm skill, moving equipment that weighed more than starships. She learned that every human carried this same inner strength. Whether they were miners or teachers, farmers or artists, they all possessed the power to overcome impossible challenges. The play.